There's really only one question you absolutely have to be asking in your sign-up forms for your email and SMS marketing. And guess what? I'm gonna tell you what it is today because I'm such a nice guy. My name's Gavin. I run an email and SMS marketing agency, and this is all I do. Email and SMS marketing. So any questions, chuck them in the comment section down below. Subscribe to my newsletter, validate my existence by subscribing to this channel. But let's get into it. Here's the thing with pop-up forms. The first thing you should be asking on the first step of your pop-up form, and this is something that we're gonna start implementing for all of our clients going forward. I have not done this in the past. It's something I just learned recently. The first question you have to ask is, have you purchased from us before? So the first thing, before you ask for their email address or anything like that, you ask them, have you purchased from us before? If they say yes, on that form you have two buttons. You have yes and no. If they say yes, redirect them to a specific landing page that shows all of your offers and says, hey, our options for discounts are only valid for first-time customers. If they say no, make them go to the second step of the form whereby you ask for their email address or you try and collect some zero-party data. I'll explain what that is in a second. Here's the thing. Most pop-up forms are showing to people who have already purchased once because they are incorrectly tracking who is visiting your website. For example, Klaviyo only knows to show your pop-up forms to people who are not in their database if they know who is on your website, and they use a pixel to figure that out, right? They use a pixel that's installed on their computer, on the viewer's computer, to register that user with who's in their database and then decide if that pop-up form should be displayed to that user. Now, what happens if I go onto your website with a phone and a computer? They're not identifying that I'm the same person. The easiest way to navigate around this is just to ask the reader, have you purchased from us before? Why do we do that? Two reasons. Number one, because it allows us to get an accurate read in terms of how our sign-up forms are converting, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a second. And number two, more importantly, it prevents us from giving away margin to people who have already purchased in the past. We do not want to be giving discount codes for first purchases to people who've placed an order 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the past, right? They don't need the same level of incentive as, say, cold traffic or somebody who is just hearing about our business, okay? Now, to my first point, it artificially inflates conversion rates for sign-up forms. Let me explain this a little bit more. Most third-party pop-up form tools are not correctly tracking your subscribers. Meaning, if you built a form, say in Klaviyo, and then you built a form in, say, a third-party pop-up form tool, and the third-party pop-up form tool is automatically showing higher conversion rates, that's for two reasons. Number one, they are not tracking the readers correctly. It's so frustrating, but they are not tracking your subscribers properly, meaning they're showing the form again to people who've already subscribed. So naturally, the data is artificially going to inflate. Also, it's because that third-party pop-up form tool does not have the historical data that, say, Klaviyo has to make sure it's accurately displaying that form. So while it's learning, naturally it's going to show your form to a bunch of people who normally would not see that form. Meaning two things, you're artificially inflating your numbers and you are giving away margin where you should not be. And the thing is, people don't know this. They're not registering it because you're not seeing where that margin is artificially being given away. The only thing you're seeing in these platforms is how many extra conversion rates your lists, or rather your forms, are getting. Most people don't even check the rate of list growth, which they should be, because you'd actually see that the rate of list growth is probably staying the same as it was in, say, Klaviyo. So make sure you're asking people if they purchased before to ensure that you show them the correct offer and you get a better gauge on what your sign-up form conversion rates actually are. Now, I just want to caveat all this and spin this back into a nice little thing as well. A lot of these pop-up form tools have started using AI to decide how they want to display their pop-up forms to their audience. Bad idea. The reason being, this AI, right? They use AI to decide, okay, based off of this algorithm that we've built, we know that now is the best time to show this pop-up form to get optimal conversion rates. AI has to be trained on data, or for you Americans, data. AI has to be trained on data. What is the data that AI has been trained on? You guessed it, it's the same data that was incorrectly displaying, or rather comprises of pop-up forms that were incorrectly displaying pop-ups to people who were already in the list. Okay? Meaning your conversion rates are optimized to display to people who have already placed an order before, meaning they've already subscribed to your email marketing. This means the data is incorrect and that the AI is optimizing its display not to get cold traffic to subscribe to your email list. It is optimizing to display to people who have already subscribed to your list, meaning the algorithm is fundamentally flawed because the data is dirty. The data that has been fed into the algorithm comprises of cold traffic and traffic that has already seen your offer in the past, okay? Which is why your sign-up form conversion rates are artificially high, okay? Which means going forward, your sign-up forms when using these AI tools is going to be based off of dirty data and essentially best practice that ensures, yep, you get higher conversion rates on your sign-up forms, but your list doesn't grow at an increased rate and you compromise your margins even more. Mind blown. I don't see any other email marketers talking about this. I know one, and he told me all of this, but he doesn't talk about it publicly because he's too smart for this. So the reality is, the pop-up form industry as a whole is fundamentally fucked. It's flawed. It's bullshit. You really only need to be doing one thing, okay? If you don't want to go down a rabbit hole of zero-party data collection. For Klaviyo, build your forms in Klaviyo. Have a pop-up form that shows up after 8 seconds, that asks them if they've purchased before, asks for their email, asks some zero-party data, and then goes ahead and gives them the offer on the final step. When they close that form, if they close it before entering their email address, have a teaser that allows them to reopen the form. The other thing you can do is then have a secondary flyout that shows up after 45 seconds with the exact same offer, exact same sign-up form that just targets people who have also closed that first form to give them another opportunity to subscribe to your email marketing. That's all you need. You don't need to be paying extra money for a tool that actually chomps into your margins unnecessarily. Email marketing is not that hard, and you would know that if you booked a call with me and had a chat. If you found this video useful, subscribe to the channel, check out my newsletter down below. I write about this stuff all the time. I really do think that pound for pound, this channel is one of the best in terms of the educational stuff that comes with email and SMS marketing. So subscribe, check out the channel, give me a like, validate my existence with that subscription, and I'll see you in the next one. 2 videos, or actually 3 now, every single week. Thanks for watching.